Hello everyone, this is Rookie and welcome to A Summer's End, Hong Kong 1986. I'm already on the main menu and this soundtrack is already banging. It's a banger. Ooh, I love this loading screen and stuff. This is so 80s, I love it. So yeah, this game is also an LGBTQ plus game, as you can tell from these two ladies right here. Yeah. Alright, let's play. Oh. A Summer's End, Hong Kong, 1986. When I think of my life, what I have, and what I've accomplished, I think I'm quite content with what it is. I had a comfortable upbringing thanks to the hard work of my parents. I'm not the greatest voice actor, so I'll try the very best I can to voice these characters, but I'm not the greatest, so bear with me here. There's a reason why I barely do visual novels, because I can't voice act. I'm not the greatest. I need to train more. I had a very typical family. My father worked to support the household, and my mother was a homemaker. You could say I was a spoiled child. I went to a private school. Whatever toys, clothes, or snacks I could have asked for, my father would have bought it for me. I was a princess. My parents had grown up quite poor after the war. When my father was a young man, he came to Hong Kong by himself from the mainland countryside to find work. He had lost contact with his family during those tumultuous times after the war and the political upheavals that followed. Also, I'm probably going to 18 plus this series because there is nudity and very sexual stuff in this game, I believe. My father had worked his way up from a man doing odd jobs day and night until he eventually became a successful restaurant owner. My mother came from a large family. Ooh, I hear the Chinese in the background off the PA speaker. She wasn't given the opportunity to complete her schooling. She had to quit school at 14 and work to support her family. She had worked many years as a waitress before meeting my father. I suppose the sharp contrast between my upbringing compared to that of my parents was partly their desire to give me a childhood better than theirs. And I think it was a good childhood that they gave me. A storybook childhood. When I was in Form 4 of high school, I received tragic news which would change my family forever. I remember vividly being a sunny, bright blue day in September. Wake me up when September ends. I was in good spirits. It was warm and clear outside. Classes had just restarted after summer vacation, and we students were chattering away during the lunch hour about what we've done during the summer. I was in mid-recital of a well-rehearsed story about my summer trip to Taiwan when my teacher had asked me to step out. It had been the first trip I have ever made with my family on an airplane, so I was quite excited to share the details of my trip to my classmates. I've never done anything that would require an interdisciplinary meeting with the principal. So to be singled out like that, my heart dropped. I fear that it was some kind of family emergency. I was worried. I got up from my desk amidst the stares of my classmates, and I followed my teacher out of the room. I found that it had been my mother who was waiting to meet me in the school hallway. She was pale. Her perfectly permed hair was frizzy. I knew that something was wrong, but even then she couldn't tell me exactly what happened. I guess it had something to do with the father. Maybe the father passed away or something. It was my teacher who told me that I was excused from afternoon class. Oh dear. And that I should accompany my mother to meet my father. Oh no. Me and my father in the hospital. Thinking back, I don't think I ever finished telling my friends how I made my family walk from Ro the Roa night market to Ningxian night market and getting my family lost along the way. My young and naive self had vastly underestimated the walking distance between the two places, but my parents had indulged in my wishes. It became a long and languid walk filled with laughter and memorable discoveries, much more than a quick car ride would have ever been. It will be a private memory I'll treasure always in my heart. I left the school with my mother. She called for a cab to take us to the hospital. We sat in silence for the entire duration of the car ride. My mother had always been a tight-lipped person, never saying anything more than necessary. I wanted her to reassure me that everything would be okay, but that would have been asking too much from her. My mother was not an emotionally strong person. It was my father who had been a pillar of support in my family. I had such a foreboding feeling in my heart. I remember feeling so nauseous during that car ride. There was so much traffic that day. There was an accident on one of the arterial roads, creating havoc for traffic. It was supposed to be a 10-minute ride, but because of the accident, it became a 60-minute trip. Damn. When we arrived at the hospital, my father had already been pronounced dead. That is insanely sad. That is just bad luck, man. If I knew it was going to be like this, I would have gotten out the car and walked. And we might have been able to see him before he passed away. Damn. But who could ever predict these things? I couldn't be too hard on myself on this part. There was not anything we could have done for my father then. My father had been in a car accident en route to meet a business partner. His vehicle was in mid-turn and unbeknownst to my father, an oncoming truck ran the red light. It was unfortunate. It was truly a terrible turn of events. My father died that September afternoon. I wish I could have said goodbye. The next station is Central, interchange station for the Blue Island line. My carefree youth had ended then. My mother too was never quite the same. She became much more anxious and protective of me, understandably so. Perhaps if my father was still around, I wouldn't be the same person that I am now. I am too childish, too naive. I didn't realize how much of a spoiled child I was. I knew I had to change myself. For the sake of my mother and the memory of my father, I had to become independent and self-reliant. I plunged myself into study to keep my thoughts preoccupied from the reality of our situation. We no longer had family trips. Our table for 3 became a table for 2. My mother sold my father's business, his car, and boxed up his belongings. We moved into a smaller house. My widowed mother didn't want to take over my father's business. She was afraid of being surrounded by too many reminders of my father's death. I never did learn how to drive. But even in death, my father still provided support for us. My father had taken out a sizable life insurance policy before his death, as if he had known something was going to happen. My widowed mother was able to use that money to send me to the university and afford a modest home in Cologne? I don't know how to say that, I'm sorry. She could continue her lifestyle as a homemaker, and I could continue to direct my focus into my studies. My focus towards my studies, my bad. It went as if we could live our lives the same way whether or not my father was still alive. That's a smart dad. It frustrated me deeply how well we could adjust ourselves after his death. So I kept pushing myself. I didn't have any particular aspirations. I just didn't want to become someone that would bring shame to my family. I wanted to be someone that could make them proud. I had kept myself fully engaged with study, and whatever interaction I had with my peers already seemed like such a distant memory. Even now, at the age of 23, it feels as if my days of being young had long passed. But it's not like I studied fortuitously without aim or purpose. My efforts were rewarded when my academic standing proved sufficient to land me an esteemed secretarial job at an international publishing firm shortly upon graduation. I was a secretary in title, but not in a normal sense. I answer only and directly to my supervisor. I handle whatever task she asks of me. It can be challenging work sometimes, but I feel fairly competent at what I do. I thought that now. My effort had finally produced something of an achievement. My modest success can be attributed to the work ethic that my father had instilled in me. He had always put his family first and gave his best effort each day to his work. If my father is in heaven watching over me, I hope he can see this and be proud. My days at the office are like a marathon day after day. Each day will have its own sets of challenges. Give me one moment, I need some water. Okay. A typical day is as follows. I arrive at work. I note down with complete accuracy the minutes of the daily morning meeting. Once that's finished, I proceed to procedural procedural? What is wrong with me? Sorry. Let's rewind. Let's restart that. Take two. Once that's finished, I proceed to schedule appointments for our business clients and our marketing staff. Sooner or later, lunchtime rolls in. I'll have the usual meal of barbecue pork rice at the nearby family restaurant. Oh, that sounds good. Whether I leave late or early, take out or dine in, the wait in line for the lunch rush is always the same. After a quick break, I'm back to the daily grind of work. I'll continue working on my reports. From here on, the flow of time speeds up. I'll continue receiving calls and letters from clients. I take great care to make appropriate correspondence with them all. I could spend several hours at my computer desk without knowing that the sun had already set outside. A day's work will usually finish close to 8 p.m. I'll tidy up and leave my completed reports on my supervisor's desk for her to review in the morning. It will usually be dark outside when I begin my commute home from work. I'll walk back to the station from my office. I pass by hundreds of people in a rush to their own destinations. I walk quickly or else I'll be pushed back to wait for the later train. As soon as I step onto the train, the flow of time slows to a crawl. The train ride is our reprieve. We have no control over how slow or fast it will take us to our destinations. I rest my eyes on the train. I will have journeyed through the center of the earth and back by the time I need to disembark. On a typical day, I'll arrive home by 9 p.m. My mother will be waiting for me with a hot meal and we'll have our dinner together. After eating, if I am in the mood, perhaps I'll continue reading my book or join my mother watching television. Whatever I choose to do for leisure, fatigue always comes quickly to me. I'll shower and prepare for the next day. Oh, I like our bedroom. Once I place my head on the pillow, it's lights out. I'll slip into the unconscious world in an instant. The sun rises, and the next day repeats. A day without incident is what I call a good day. like the clockwork accuracy of the subway system. I like to structure my day in a timetable precise to the minute. A single minute can change the flow of the entire day. If you miss one bus, it can lead to missing every other connection. A 5-minute delay could become a 30-minute delay, especially with the compounding congestion and traffic of modern city living. It's important to treasure every single minute. Though sometimes, despite your best efforts, there are things that occur beyond your own foresight. Today was a day with incident. The usual overhead walkway leading to my office was closed for maintenance. All foot traffic was diverted to other routes. I had to make quite a detour to reach my building. In my hurry, I haven't noticed when one of my heels had caught onto the sewer grid, and lo and behold, when I rushed to take my next step, the heel had snapped cleanly off my shoe. Damn. My beautiful heels! Fiora, new collection. Well, I don't know shit about shoes. I just see shoes, wear tennis shoes, and be like, oh, call it a day. As you can obviously tell, I ain't got no sense of fashion. Comfortable to wear and stylishly formal. It cost a month's paycheck, and it was an investment towards success. Oh, hell no. See, I'd rather put my money towards a new gaming laptop than shoes, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. To break it in such a way, of course, I was upset. It was entirely unsalvageable. And to add insult to injury, I had to hobble my way into the nearest convenience store and purchase a pair of embarrassingly homely sandals to wear. They look alright for Dollar Tree sandals. Today was already turning out to be a disaster. Girl, it's your heels. You'll be fine. I had worn these conspicuous sandals into work, and because of that, I was the receiving end of a much teasing from my coworkers. Screw your coworkers. Even the newest hire felt he could approach me and make a joke about the kitchen slippers on my feet. Today I earned a new nickname at the office. Slippers Chunk. That sounds... Slippers Ching? That sounds kind of racist. I didn't know how long it would take to live this down. I resolved to never make such a mistake again. This incident had set my whole day off. I was frazzled. I fumbled with the phone and Xerox machine? The Xerox machine? My usual 0.01% error rate is transcribing and typing had more than tripled. Today might have been the longest workday ever. I had to get it together. My supervisor, Mrs. Tam, noticed my distress and pulled me aside. Mrs. Tam personally hired me as her secretary, saying that I reminded her of her younger self. Mrs. Tam is a remarkable woman. She facilitated the rapid growth of her company for the past 20 years. If there's something she's more passionate about other than money making, it had to be shoes. She herself is an aficionado of designer shoes. There's a rumor among my colleagues that she has a closet filled with over 10,000 pairs of luxury market shoes. What is she, Celine Dion? I have never seen her wear the same shoe twice, so it is a rumor founded with reason. It would have been a dream come true to see such a collection of my own eyes. With my own eyes, sorry. Anyway, I digress. Mrs. Tam recommended that I have the shoe repaired at a cobbler in Bangkok? I don't know. She said their prices are very reasonable and that they could flawlessly fix any shoe within an hour. I took down her directions. I made it my mission to have it fixed as soon as possible so I could put this embarrassment behind me. If Mrs. Tam recommended the shoe cobbler, he must be no ordinary shoe cobbler. After what was an embarrassing long work day on my feet, I made my way to the shoe cobbler in Bangkok. Unfortunately for me, it was a busier day than usual on the train. I had to endure a number of stares from people on the train eyeing my pink slippers. I hurried off the train as soon as I could. Alright, let me save. Perfect. Alrighty guys, I have to end my video from here, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of A Summer's End Hong Kong 1986. Bye bye!